Hey YouTubers, welcome back to Desert Have a Garden. Today I am going to show you what I will be doing with my barrel for the spring this year. So over the winter we used this nice barrel we have here in the garden in order to grow carrots, and having that nice depth of soft soil allowed carrots to grow nice long roots, and we had a successful harvest of carrots. And last spring I grew a whole assortment of herbs in there. However, it ended up being choked out by wonderberries, which are something we have grown in our garden and my son enjoys. However, they are quite invasive and prolific and will choke anything else out. So I've got the barrel cleaned out and ready, and I'm going to plant a couple new things in there. And so I have my Baker Creek heirloom seed catalog here, which is what I use to get my seeds. Now, just to let you know, I don't get anything from Baker Creek for mentioning them. I have just been really happy with their seeds. I have a high success rate, and I enjoy that they value heirloom seeds and organic gardening. So anyhow, I have my seed catalog here, and one thing I'll be planting is mullein, and this is something that I'll just broadcast. So I scatter the seeds over the top of the soil, and it's also considered cowboy toilet paper. It's a fuzzy leaf, and it can be used for a number of purposes, including a tea for lung ailments. And then the second thing is also a new seed that I wanted to try is this one here. It's called Oyster Leaf, and so I want to try this one because it's supposed to have the flavor similar to oysters used in fresh salads, and also a hint of seaweed flavor, and that's something that my older son and I both really enjoy. So I thought this was something new and interesting to try. I've never grown it before successfully, so let's see how it goes. I'm going to get those planted, and then I'll continue giving you updates as they grow. Here is 5 days after planting, and you can see that there are many little sprouts coming up. The first sign of sprouts was right around 3 days, and now we're starting to get a little bit more action. So it is covered with some net just to try and keep the rats out of it. Today is day 8 since planting these seeds, and you don't see a lot of rapid growth, but at this point I'm a little bit concerned about these sprouts over here. So this shape of sprout, I am highly suspicious because I'm starting to see some secondary leaves. I believe that those may be wonderberry plants, and that is not at all what I want growing over here. However, wonderberries are highly prolific, and I've had them growing in here before, and when they drop their berries, they have thousands of seeds, and they're tiny, so I suspect that's what's growing there. Over here, these small little sprouts, those I am pretty sure are the mullen plants, and I don't know about these really tiny ones right there. I don't know what those are. I've been watering daily very gently because these are fragile new sprouts. We could be still waiting for the appearance of the oyster leaf over here. And like I said, I think these are all just wonderberry plants. So maybe the oyster leaf can be a little slow to germinate. It says that they can take up to 2 weeks to germinate. So I might not be seeing any of them over there yet. We'll keep watching. It is now 17 days after planting, and all these sprouts here are the mullen that I believe I planted, and so they were just broadcast. I just sprinkled those seeds all out here, and you can see a nice healthy grouping of them coming up. However, these other plants that you see, let me get a focus on them. These ones over here, I am now confident are wonderberries. So if you look on this other side of the barrel, I'm pretty confident all that has come up are wonderberries. I'm not seeing any of the other plants that I planted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick out these wonderberry sprouts just to get rid of them. So I pull them up by the root. When they get a little bit bigger, they are really quite strong roots. They grow long and deep, and they're difficult to get rid of. These are highly prolific plants, but at this point I'm going to pull them out to make sure that they're out of the way, just in case I do get some of the plants coming up that I actually intended to have over here. So I'm hoping to get some of the oyster leaf. Sorry about the poor lighting. It is kind of late in the day. So I'll show you an example of what a larger wonderberry plant looks like. There's one growing right here at the base of the barrel. Sorry for my fingers in the way. So this is a wonderberry plant, a little bit bigger, and they put on these little white flowers, and then they have berries that turn black when they're ready to eat. When they're green, you don't want to eat them because they can be poisonous. So make you have an upset stomach. That's what we tell our 4-year-old dude, because he really likes to eat the wonderberries that grow all around the yard wildly. So I'm going to finish pulling all of these out, and we'll hope that we get the emergence of some oyster leaf at some point. It is now 22 days since planting in our barrel, and over here you can see really nice growth from the mullein plants, and you can see them nice and thick in this area. However, they're still pretty small little plants. And then if we look over to the other half of the barrel where I planted the oyster leaf, I don't think I have seen a single one come up. Way over here, I believe that's like a carrot came up, and then maybe another one over here. So at this point, I'm assuming they're not going to come up. All we had was the wonderberry plants that I didn't plant here and didn't want here, and so those all got pulled out. At this point, I'm going to plant this half of the barrel with some cilantro seeds, since it is warming up here and I know cilantro grows well, so I'm going to throw in some cilantro. We now have about 10 weeks of growth since I planted the mullein, and you can see that it is very full and lush in here. There's some sort of a volunteer plant in here that I didn't take out because I thought it might be another useful herb, so we'll see what comes of that one. But you can see the mullein is here. It's very fuzzy and developing nicely, so some people say that these can be used as an alternative to a Band-Aid or a bandage for a little wound, but the reason I'm growing it is for the medicinal properties where the leaves can be dried, harvested and then used for respiratory ailments. So for chest colds, asthma, things like that. We don't really have any asthma, but it's good to have around. Chest colds definitely happened having kids, and so this is very dense. Apparently it goes to flour. You can also use the flowers as just an edible in salads, and you can also use the stalk of the plant as a mild sedative. However, I will probably be thinning these out and drying some of the leaves in order to give some space for the plant to continue maturing. Over here I did plant cilantro, and so there are some cilantro plants that have kind of begun peeking up over here. However, they're probably not getting as much sun and they're not doing as well. So the other plants, the oyster leaf that I planted in that half of the barrel, never made an appearance. You can see that there is one rogue carrot over here that's still growing. But yeah, the little cilantros, maybe some of those will grow a bit. I can see some here underneath. Hopefully they'll get up to a level where they can get some sunshine up above the mullein leaves pretty soon. But this has turned out to be pretty simple to grow. I kept it covered with the net for a while in order to keep the pests out, specifically rats. I didn't want rats eating the tender young leaves, and so now it is seeming to be well established and I don't have any pests messing with it. So that's good news. Maybe it's not something that they would normally eat. I'll continue growing this, and then I'll give you an update at a later time when I use it to make a tea and show you how I do that. But for now, I'm going to call this quits on our mullein growing video, and I hope you found something useful, at least maybe the timetable for how long it takes to get it established and going. And if you did enjoy it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more updates in the future.